Is it sun bright or I on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I'm here to talk about Jennifer Lopez because she's got a whole lot going on with her. She's got at least 5 things going on with her, and I just got to know what is going on with Jennifer. Is she trying to find love? Is she adjusting to life? You know what? I'll just read to you guys what is going on with Jennifer in case you do not know what's going on. First and foremost, the most recent news is actually the fact that her twins have graduated. Max, and now formerly known as Emma, but now known as Oscar, have officially graduated from high school, and they're getting ready to leave and go to college in a few months. And JLo's going to be an empty nester. So as she's on her premiere / promo for the next week or two. Yeah, because the 5th is next week. So for the next week or two, for the promo, she's for her movie. Yes, I don't know how I forgot that. Office Romance. For her movie Office Romance, she is sorry. There's a net in here. Okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. That bug is literally distracting me. I'm going to try to ignore it. But she is talking about how she's an empty nester and how she has to adjust. But as she is in the process of adjusting, she is kind of depressed. Not probably, but the way she talks about it, she cries. She just talks about how she's just crying a lot. And she can't even think about it without talking. She can't talk. She can't think about it without getting emotional, getting teary eye. So because of that, that's what's going on with her twins. However, let's talk about the twins just before I move on, because like I said, JLo's got a lot going on. We remember Max, right? Well, Max is allegedly, I don't want to say the A word, but he's looking very emaciated, and I'm just questioning what's going on. What is the stress going on in that household that has had him need to find a way to control his environment or have a sense of control in his life? I'm not a psychiatrist. That's usually how it goes. When you need to find something to control, the easiest thing you can control is eating. That's just what I've heard from internet videos that talk about psychology, but you can look that one up. But like I said, everything I said is allegedly, and I'm not trying to self-diagnose anybody here, but that's what's going on with Max. And then his twin sister / Oscar, M to Oscar. Yeah, so we got that going on. We already knew that Emma has went from a she to a them. But now at their graduation, they're now 18 years old, declare that they're going to college and to start this new chapter in their life. They have declared that their name is now Oscar. They're ready to assimilate and have a new identity and leave the old chapter behind. Again, I am saying, because they're both twins and they both graduating at the same time. Again, JLo, I just have to ask you, what is going on in the household that one needs to feel like they need to lose a whole lot of weight, and then another one needs to have a whole new identity to start a whole new chapter in their life. Please enlighten me. And I also heard that the twins aren't even going to the same college, which is great for them because at least they get some type of separation and they can really foster their own lives outside of each other. And that's just also something that I've heard that's really great for twins. But like I said, I really like psychology videos, but that's just also what I've learned about psychology. So just saying that that's really great for the twins, that they have decided to go their own separate ways moving forward in their lives. Not literally, but just when it comes to college, so that way they can forge their own identities, is really great for the twins. However, one is looking sickly, and then the other one just wanted to change their name. So I'm like, Jayla, what is going on in that household? And she's getting teary-eyed because they're getting ready to leave. I mean, I completely get that. Every mother goes through that, becoming an empty nester. But she's got that going on. And then let's talk about, like I said, she's promoting her film Office Romance, which I'm going to talk about later. But let's continue talking about this home life that's going on, because before that, what everyone was talking about before this graduation was the fact that Jennifer had got her Benifer tattoo remastered, redone over, however they coin it in the tattoo world. But she had did a tattoo cover up and changed and added like hummingbird and like an infinity sign, kept some things but reimagined it. So she has officially moved on from Ben Affleck. Said that this divorce was not healing, but said that this divorce couldn't have happened any sooner, and that it was fantastic, something like that. It was something. But yeah, so that's how she's feeling after her divorce, which I could have remembered. She was like directly and indirectly begging for Ben back. But however, Jennifer needs it to be for her motive and not her motive, but her storyline that she needs to tell herself. However, like I said, that home life that's going on with the kids, and now she covers up this tattoo, divorce, like there's got a whole lot going on. And then on top of that, that's also, speaking of home life, like I said, there's a whole lot going on with Jennifer. Not only has she still trying to sell the mansion that her and Ben Affleck bought together, who he sold his half back to Jennifer. So now Jennifer has sole custody responsibility over this house, and she's desperately trying to sell it, and it's not going well. But she moved out of that and moved into a new home, and now just a few weeks later, her children have a graduation. At least she's going to have a few more months with them, but Memorial Day could be like the last Memorial Day that they're going to have like this big family picture as it was before it will be. So because of that, that's a whole lot going on. She's going through some transitioning, divorce, empty nester, got a house, got a tattoo, acting, all that, right? Is there anything else that I'm missing on this list? Because she's got a lot going on. Oh, yeah, that's pretty much right. Let's circle back. So circling back to Office Romance, it is supposed to come out on Netflix June 5th. And since May 26th, they have been on doing like premiere and a promo tour. And I have some videos and clips because I wonder, there could be two aspects here. Could her co-star, Bennett Goldstein or Steen, have like a huge massive crush on Jennifer Lopez, and that they could be like secretly having a relationship, or could be starting a relationship, or wedding bells are going off in her head? Or two, is this something that is just to boost her ego? Because here's what I found that is very interesting. All right, this is the first clip.
Brett, you've said that the script was written with Jennifer in mind. Yeah. Jennifer, I'm curious, when a role is custom built for you in the way that this was, does it give you a sense of, I guess, kind of creative permission to take bigger risks? Or
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut his question off, but you heard that Brett Goldstein had wrote this part with Jennifer Lopez, basically wrote the office romance with Jennifer Lopez in mind, and then went and set out and casted Jennifer Lopez, and Jennifer Lopez said, sure, why not? But hey, let's listen to her response.
Because it's kind of written for you and they have their idea of who you are, does that change anything?
No, it's a great question, and I think it did give me license to be like, I know this. You somehow got inside my head and my skin when you wrote this, and I'm going to offer as much as I can to it because I actually know what this is. I understand who this person is, and it actually made it a really pleasant collaboration on set, with the script, with everything.
So you heard that from Jennifer's mouth. But hey, you know what? This is what Jennifer had to say when it came to her first appearance or first interaction with Brett.
Meet somebody and it's kind of like, ooh, he's kind of a weirdo.
Let me run that back.
Sometimes if you meet somebody and it's kind of like, ooh, he's kind of a weirdo. But it's okay. We'll make this work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that.
No,
you
we
weren't
were
a weirdo.
laughing. That's you're
Yay.
the first person who said that. What
It's kind of odd to say, I thought you was going to be a weirdo, and then you wasn't a weirdo. I mean, I totally get that. In this day and age, you're a weirdo until you're proving you're not a weirdo. But no, for real, that's really weird to say, especially because he says that he has written this part for you. In the next clip that I'm going to play for you, he's going to talk about how he's, some articles claim, a super fan. So yeah, it's a little bit suspicious that she mentioned, yeah, I thought you was going to be a really super weird, and then you didn't turn out to be weird, and yeah, we can totally work this out. Yeah, I want to be a part of this film. Saying.
Of an airline.
Yes.
This is also a novel role for her in a rom-com.
Yeah, because if you've seen all her rom-coms, which I have, she's always like low status and aspiring to something and sort of on the outskirts of things. And we wanted to do like a more grown-up one that I hadn't seen her do before. So she's the CEO in this one. Like, she has it all.
And like Jennifer said, she was like, you wrote this character for me. You got in me. You embodied me. And I see the direction that you're going. And I'm on board.
And she's very good at her job. It was like a love letter to workaholics. That was what it was.
It's really, it is nice. Also, you mentioned you've seen all her films.
Yeah.
It turns out you're a huge fan of hers, and you've said it a lot on camera.
I didn't realize how often I thought once on my podcast I might have mentioned that I thought she was good. And then when we were making this film, every week a producer would come over, we'd be talking and someone would go, oh, they found another one. And there's like me on a red carpet going, isn't J-Lo brilliant? And I was like, shut up, I'm trying to be cool.
Like I said, is wedding bells going off in J-Lo's head? I'm just saying. So I'm going to pull some cards. Like I said, there's a whole lot going on with J-Lo. And then this part just happens to mysteriously fall into her lap. So it's quite interesting. A huge super fan. And I mean, this is great. This is honestly something that J-Lo would definitely need during a time like this. So it was kind of almost like the way I'm going to say it and see it is like a gift from the universe, because she's feeling down in the dumps right now, and to look at this movie and to realize that she did that and embodied that character, at least from her perspective, that she's happy with it, then at least she has something to look forward to and is happy about during a time of sadness for her, but also celebration. That bittersweet has some good aspects going on around it, when there's a whole lot of other negative energy going on around her. So because of that, I just want to know, how is the connection between you? I don't want to ask about their love life. I just want, okay, you know what? I'm going to stick to I'm going to stay in my lane. I want to know what is going on. How is Jennifer coping? What is coping with her life right now? That's what I want. Most curious about. How is Jennifer coping with her life? We have the Hermit, not surprised at all. Block card, the Seven of Swords. Foundation, the King of Cups. Past, the Four of Pentacles. In the head, the Ten of Cups. In the future, the High Priestess. Very interesting. And then, of course, I figured out how I'm going to work this out. The outside cards are going to be, how is Jennifer and Brett's relationship? Friendship, relationship, partnership, co-workership, however you want to call it. A relationship is a relationship, period. So, how is Jennifer has to stay away from those bees, because why do we have a Brett? At least it's not a Ben, but it's close enough to a Ben. Why a Brett? But I digress. Anyway, that just dawned on me. Brett and Jennifer, how's their connection? We have a false person, the Moon card. Oh, this is interesting. Oh no. Oh. Of course. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, interesting. I really like that the Hermit and the Seven of Swords came out as a pair. I like that JLo is the Hermit right now during her life, because the Hermit is somebody who takes a seclusion and is really taking time out for themselves. However they choose to take out time for themselves, whether that's for family, whether that's choosing to take life day by day, and whatever good days and memories happen, enjoy it and use and take those and hold on to them when you go through the rough days. But then we have the Seven of Swords, which is very victim mentality card, because you feel like the world is up against you and you're feeling like nobody understands you, and that because you're misunderstood and things don't go your way, you might as well just go off on the beaten path and do your own thing anyway, because nobody listens or it never works out in your favor. So like they say, if you want a job done, you might as well do it yourself. So that's the kind of energy that JLo's feeling. She's like, you know what, since everything seems to be going haywire and chaotic in my life, I might as well take some charge and lead in my own life and just focus on myself, be a little bit selfish, do this, do that. It's all about Jennifer for once. Forget love, Jennifer. That's how she's feeling. We have the King of Cups, and we're really emotionally, this is totally about emotions. This is a decision made out of emotions. But the Hermit card tells me that she's going to try to at least process these emotions, because like I said, a whole lot going on. Malnourished child changing their identity, changing up your tattoo after a divorce that you said couldn't have happened any sooner. You got this rom-com that was basically made for you, but you got this really super creepy guy from your perspective, which usually you would be like all over people that are obsessed with you. But this kind of obsession is like, yikes, but you know what? I'm willing to take it because it flatters my ego kind of sense. So it's like a double-edged sword. But, you know, it's something that she needed or wanted, and it actually kind of worked out for her at this present moment, like I said. So it was like a gift to her present. It was a gift from her past self to her future self. So because of that, very Hermit, very energy. But the Seven of Swords paired with that is the I'm finally doing me, and I'm not going to care what anybody says, what's going on, how it looks. I'm gonna just live it up. It's about Jennifer. Forget what they say. Forget what the internet says. Forget what the paparazzi want to say. Forget what the rumors are on the internet. She's like, I know what's going on in my household, and that's all that matters. So because of that, that's all she wants to focus herself with. Very emotional type of way to approach it. But as I said, circling back yet again to that Hermit card, try to work that out and process that during this time, hopefully through living out, I don't want to say vicariously, but by living out her life how she wants. Like she hasn't been doing that, but just living out life how she wants. Hopefully that will bring some sort of healing and bring her to help her process her emotions that she ultimately needs to deal with, because the foundation doesn't always have to be your foundation. In this sense, is almost what's being buried and what's hidden underneath, since we want to have a whole lot of cards that is about inwardness, with the Hermit, with the High Priestess, with the Well card. And then honestly, since we're on cups and water, we have the High Priestess, and the High Priestess rules the moon. And let's not forget the Tower. If you want to think about it, not Cinderella, Rapunzel, all trapped up in. Actually, you know what? That's actually a very fitting analogy, because Jennifer Lopez really loves fairy tale stories, but just think about it as Rapunzel all trapped up in the tower waiting for Mr. Right, but also it's that still that layer of seclusion, isolation, secrecy, don't want anybody to know what's going on, keep you out kind of energy. Gotta go deep and look farther. You're not going to know what's happening on the surface. I'm going to bury my emotions so deep that maybe not even I'm going to know what's in my emotions, kind of thing. So that's the way she's trying to live. There we go. I know why I kept looping back between that King of Cups and that Hermit card, and why her problem is the Seven of Swords. It's exactly what I've been saying without saying it. It's all about being in denial and choosing to live life with rose-colored glasses on, checking out of life for the sake of your sanity, for the sake of your mental. So because of that, that's the approach. You know, dealing with all these emotions is going to, like she says, every time she thinks about her children moving and she's going to get an empty nester, she's crying. So she's like, I just don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to talk about it. Don't even bring it up. I know that's my inevitable future, but let me just live in my now and live like they're not about to leave me. So that's the kind of energy that she's leaving. She's like, yeah, even though I'm kind of single and I don't have this love life that I desperately want and that I'm thinking of and that I'm trying to get, and it just never seems to be that way. And this Benefit was supposed to be the love story, the fairy tale, and then it wasn't. But she's like, hey, you know what? That's okay. I'm still a strong woman. Like the album This Is Me Now declared, and she's going to live it up to that standard that she has learned from her past relationships, that she's not going to settle for anything, that she's going to pick herself up, be strong, and be the independent Jennifer Lopez that she knows that she is, that's seeking love. But outside of that, she knows who she is, and she's going to get back to that woman. She got lost in love. She got lost in herself. So now she's got to find herself. Who she find herself? It's hard to find yourself when you're being a little bit delusional and choosing not to look at things. But you know what? That's okay. In time, hopefully. Like once she becomes an empty nester, once the promotions, once the distractions are gone, then she can finally really deal with what it is internally that's going on. And who knows? Maybe she might still try to find a way to fill that space with a man. I'm not quite sure. But we see here the Four of Pentacles, which is all about, I don't want to say about being selfish, because I don't want to try to bash Jennifer Lopez here, but it's all about, actually, you know what? The Four of Pentacles and the Hermit and the High Priestess and the Well and the Moon and the Seven of Swords, you know what they all have in common? Not secrecy, but holding things close to your heart, not sharing everything so publicly. That's what's going on here. with the Four of Pentacles and how how Jennifer has been feeling. She doesn't want to, she just wants to keep things close to her heart. She doesn't want to share this. This is such a vulnerable moment for her. I'm jokingly going to say it, but hopefully the joke gets the sentiment across. She's like so down bad, but she's not going to let you know it. So because of that, that's what the Four of Pentacles is. Like she's like they say, when you hit rock bottom, all you got is to go up. And that's how she's kind of feeling with this Four of Pentacles. She's like, I am so down in the dumps that I don't even want to share my life. I don't even want anybody to pick me apart because I'm so sensitive. I'm so vulnerable that I need to protect myself. This is like inner protection that I'm getting from Jennifer Lopez. But like I said, it kind of stems from that like victim mentality. So is it like, and she's also doing this all out of in denial. So it's like, it's great work, but it's coming from a wrong place. That's all I got. It's great when you're like the Ten of Cups says, it's great when you have the intentions. Is the intentions going to fall through? Are you going to follow out and are you going to follow out the intentions? Or are you just envisioning the intentions, hoping the intentions come to you, just keep thinking about it, you're going to like manifest it, and suddenly it's going to manifest into your physical reality, and it's going to be like happily ever after. And all you had to do was manifest it, think about it, intentions. You know how they say, that's how you manifest, right? And she's just hoping that's just how it's going to work out for her. But we see here moving forward with the High Priestess paired with that Hierophant is a more internal, deeper analysis with inside of herself. But I've also recently learned that the High Priestess doesn't truly show you everything, which I knew, but I didn't realize that that's totally a hindrance to the person. Because you could be so, and it's like the thing is, like I said, everything that J-Lo is doing is with good intentions. Literally. 10 of Cups, King of Cups. Sadly, the Seven of Swords clouds it, but the Hermit. It's all about doing the inner work. It's all about it's all about doing the inner work slightly, but choosing not to deal with the things that are too heavy. And if you choose to deal with the things that are if you choose not to deal with the things that are too heavy, well, then you're not making the progress, because it's the things that are heavy that you need to deal with. So you're doing all this work. You're trying to acquire High Priestess status, where you're going to get all this revelation, all this knowledge all inside yourself. But you're only going to get half the story, because you're only doing half the work, because you're doing it from a bad intention. But your intention was great. You had good intentions, but the way you followed through and planned it out didn't work out in your favor. So because of that, it's like the High Priestess was like, I saw the work you did. I'm going to reward you, but I'm not going to completely reward you because you didn't do what I needed you to do. And that's exactly the same circle that Jennifer Lopez seems to keep having. And she's going to have to eventually come to a point to realize that she's going to have to find some type of way to figure it out, what's inside of herself, as I said earlier. But anyway, all that with Jennifer Lopez's life and how she's coping. Whew. Let's lighten up a little bit with her love life, shall we? Let's see what's going on with yet another B in her life, Brett. We see here is a false person. Now, is Jennifer the false person, or is he the false person? Especially when it comes to the intention of a relationship. But we have a moon here, which is all about phases. This could be something that's temporary, that could be for now. But it's like something that put Jennifer on the same perpetual loop, because like I said, usually a guy that's like so obsessed with her like that is exactly the kind of guy that Jennifer would go for, and that's exactly why she did a movie with him. But also all those things are exactly why she may not be in a relationship with him, because it's like, why am I going to keep doing the same old habits and patterns and falling for the same old people that are not going to have my best interest in heart, or honestly, where she's not going to have her best interests out for herself. So she's going to keep picking the wrong people, because like I said, when you're in denial, you're not choosing to deal with the things. You're not going to do the healing and the work that needs to be done to avoid the people that are going to keep hurting you. Perpetual loop, perpetual cycle, baby. So because of that, we have the well, which is quite interesting, because like I said, this guy said he has seen all her work. Now, at first she thought that was just BS and that he was joking, he was just trying to butter her up, until she really realized, no, he's serious. He has seen all my work, whether he jokes about it, but whatever it is, it's like this well. It's something about him that's intriguing, that makes her want to go a little bit deeper, want to know him a little bit more, but it's like cautious in the sense, because you know if you go deep into the well, you don't know what you're going to find. But also you can find gold at the bottom of the well, depending on if you really want to go down that well. It's the luck of the draw, right? You never know what you're going to get at the bottom of the well. People throw things down the well, making wishes all the time. So that could be another thing. Maybe you should be wishing and hoping and dreaming. But like I said, honestly, Jennifer Lopez is so focused on herself and just focusing on anything that's going to make her feel good, anything that's going to dull the pain that she's truly feeling, that she's not acknowledging. It's just going to, that's what it really is. It's just like, he's just like another distraction for her. And it's something that helps her forget about what's going on in her life. And we see here is the ship, which is all about commerce and making money moves, which they did. Now, are they going to continue making money moves in the future? I'm not sure. It depends if they continue being friends. And if he doesn't really give her the ick. I'm not kidding. And yet we're going to see, like the ship says, we're going to see how that ship sails and continues moving forward. But honestly, it could just really sail from here, as in literally sail, left the dock, not coming back, cut ties, burn bridges, kind of ship sailed. Because like I said, false person. But like I said, I'm not really having the best hopes for Jennifer in working, putting in the inner work, because the Seven of Swords is her block, and that's just going to put an overcast over everything that she's doing, no matter how good it's coming from. So even though it's like this false person is in her area and she can maybe sense it, maybe it's not something that she's going to literally dip deuces, I'm out, because the Office romance could have. So it's like all that's going on. That's just another. That's just something we gotta see where that ship goes, literally, metaphorically, and. Yeah, so I picked these as outcomes, but the outcomes as the blocks. And you're probably like, why would the outcome be a block? Well, because honestly, the ship, the false person, the moon, and the well, they just weren't looking positive for me. There are some positive aspects, but like overall, paired with the Hermit, the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, every card is pretty much selfish and pretty much self-centered, not in a negative sense, but in a self-preservation sense. So because of that, I just saw a block was already coming. And the block is main female herself. She's the main character of her life. And that's just going to be her problem. She's going to be her own downfall, and she's got to find a way to fix that, like the Hermit and the Seven of Swords and High Priestess says. But she's got to work that out. And then we have the Mask. The Mask is all about unveiling and shedding personalities and becoming your true, authentic self. Or maybe you could continue keeping up the facade. Like I've been saying, that she's just being in denial, and she's going to continue wearing a mask and living like everything is peachy and rainbows and lollipops and gumdrops and Candyland life. And then we have here the Tower, which brings us back to exactly square one, which is the perpetual cycles, like the moon keeps saying. And like I said earlier when I was cycling between the King of Cups and the Hermit trying to explain it to you guys. The Tower brings us back to square one all over again, which is, like I said, High Priestess energy. Before you can level up and move to the next level, you would have had to do the work. And yes, she has herself isolated, but she needs to be willing to. I just want to pull one card because, like I said, I'm not here to bash her. So I want to know. I'm going to shuffle. I'm going to pick right here. This is about even. I want to know, is Jennifer Lopez going to put in the inner work, self-care, self-love for herself to grow as an individual? Just one card, and I'll do the same here and split them in half. And I just want to know. Honestly, it just confirmed. We got the Five of Wands, inner conflict, inner battle, but also battles with people, but just also battles with creative energy and creative drive within yourself. And what are you passionate about? And just also chaotically, energetically spread yourself so thin that you're all over the place that you really don't have time to focus on yourself. And then we have the clouds, which usually, as we see the clouds, actually, I could honestly see this as a storm coming in or a storm coming out. It's honestly how Jennifer chooses to see it and work it out in her life. But whatever it is a dark period that she's trying to fight off and fight back. Five of Wands is saying, but overall, that inner work that she's going to do within herself, is she really working on it? It's a battle. It's a struggle. But I think there are some days where she just chooses to have a blind eye just for the sake of her sanity and sake for her mentality. And honestly, when it's a life journey like that, when you're trying to evolve, there is no break. Like they say, and I'm metaphorically joking again, don't skip leg day, as in everything counts. Every little detail matters. So because of that, you can't get leery and weary in the journey and say, oh, I won't today just because I don't feel like it. Or it could be too hard. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading on how Jennifer Lopez is coping within her life. I was definitely passionate in that. I wasn't expecting that one. And like I said, I made it a little bit light just to see what's going on with her and her co-star, Brett, and it doesn't look too good either. But hey, you know what? It's the situations, the things that Jennifer keeps drawing towards herself. And in order to change her physical in her surroundings, she's going to have to do that work on the inside. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading on Jennifer Lopez. I sure did. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It would really mean a lot to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Please and thank you. Leave your comments down below. What did you think? How do you feel about Jennifer? Are you ready to see the office romance? What do you think is going on with her home life that has got her children stressed out? Let me know all that down below in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. So please subscribe and become a beautiful sunflower. Spread those beautiful sunflower seeds so that way, hopefully, good energy can land on people that are struggling just like Jennifer Lopez and for Jennifer Lopez herself. So that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. But you know what I say before I go. Please give this video a thumbs up. And now, hype us up. Subscribe to us. And don't forget to thumb us up. Hey, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Sunflowers.